Dr. Singh, it was such a pleasure to listen to your views when the debate was going on. But now that we are talking about grading of hospitals, can you, for a layman, explain what would grading of hospital could mean for them when they were to go out and choose a hospital they wish to go to?
So what basically is happening is Ministry of Health says that right now there are few people who grade the hospital, and then they say that in Delhi this is the best hospital, and then in Mumbai these are the best hospital, in oncology these are best hospital. Now we don't know what is the criteria. So can government come out with a decent criteria which has a method, and then you can actually, if you want to refer a case, you can know that you are referred based on a criteria. So that is how they asked Quality Council of India that can we set up some basically method and conceptualize how can we grade the hospital. Now there are two things: accreditation and grading would be different. So once you are already accredited, you have put in a systems in place. Now accreditation covers a lot of structure and processes. So this has been a bar notch above accreditation. So what has been done right now is all 300 plus bed hospital, which are NABH accredited, would go with grading system. So how do you grade or rate a hospital and say that if anybody comes to me, how do I send him to hospital X and Y? On what criteria? It is based on my relationship, but then there is no framework. So that framework is the trial which we are doing. Now there will be 5 hospitals where we will pilot it. We'll see whether it makes sense from the auditee point of view and an auditor point of view. We'll seek feedback and do an internal correction.
And sir, in a country where we have hospitals of varied sizes, we have hospitals which are owned by varied institutions, private institutions, private equity invested in hospitals, hospitals owned by trusts, smaller hospitals which are owned by doctors. In this kind of a scenario, who do you think is the right body to go and say that, this hospital is grade A versus this hospital which is grade B? And also, how can there be a scientific methodology to identify hospital as a grade notch above other holistically in their outcomes, in their quality of doctors, in the quality of the nursing or the other services that the hospital depends on?
So I think since 2005, 2006, when NABH was launched, we have really matured that system where there is a method to assessing a hospital. So there are criterias based on that you mark, and then it is also transparently always shared. So earlier bit where medical council and other thing, it was all very hidden. But it's a transparent way that I have marked you, I have assessed you on 640 items and I have marked you. Do you agree? So there is always an agreement and then a co-sign of a document. So that's a very transparent way. Now we have taken this to a slightly higher scale to be able to say that other than this, which is already done and accepted in accreditation, can there be something much more which should come? Can technology come in? Can best practices innovation can come in? Can more of clinical outcomes can come in? Because unfortunately we do a lot of cosmetic work in accreditation or other things in training, but can all clinical department have a standardized way of working, sharing and looking at their own indicator? But you don't have to be the best, but is there a mechanism? So that bit has been sort of established. So it will be always assessed by an independent group of assessor, which will be all trained. So we have done the first group of training of the assessors from Quality Council of India. Now there will be a set audit points also for them. So they cannot deviate or they cannot bring on their own hospital packages. That this is how it works. So why it doesn't work? So there is a complete mechanism which has been. So we're going to test it with the pilot. But coming back to your earlier question, how a common man is going to benefit, it's a very difficult question because for that I think there is a universal health coverage which is important. and that is very much a government's job. So Ayushman Bharat has been sort of one big flagship thing which is going to a UHC. That bit has to happen. That either an accredited, non-accredited, howsoever, because the common man will get benefit. So there are various layers which we are talking about. One is definitely a universal health care coverage between primary, secondary, tertiary, which the government participates, and definitely other healthcare providers like trust-based or private and corporate, whatever, howsoever they can chip in. Then there are this small healthcare associations which are 30 to 300 beds. So then there is also a certification criteria. Then there is 300 and 500 bed hospital where there is an accreditation criteria. Beyond that is a grading. So there is a very layered variety. Common man will definitely get benefited through universal health coverage.
And so my last question to you, that you have always been participating in CAHO. And how do you think CAHO is providing the platform so that everybody in the ecosystem understands the importance of this and wants to participate in this grading exercise when it comes to being, rather than any institution trying to push them to come and participate and get the grading done?
So I must congratulate the whole CAHO team ever since it was sort of conceptualized and executed it so well. It was a culling out of all these accredited hospitals coming together and looking at quality in all areas, clinical, non-clinical. Over the years, they have done some fantastic work. It is just not limited to 400, 500, 1600 accredited hospitals. So they have really got into tier 2, tier 3 and have excited a lot of people to participate. And there are billion people working in Trichy, working in Moradabad, working in Agartala, and they have all come together in this CAHO platform. So that bit, the credit goes to the whole team for bringing a renaissance and engagement, which was so important, because there are people who you need not be in the metro, but you still want to contribute because you have the expertise. The other thing is that other than just the CAHO, they have also CAHO tech programs, and there are various other programs. They have multiple webinar series, they have multiple learning academies, they are opening up a lot of new forums. So this all brings people together to be able to make a difference, contribute, learn, and also say that no, this doesn't work. So there is scope. Otherwise, if there is a closed group or there is only one group, then there is a problem. So what they have done wonderfully is bringing people together and also creating lots of avenues for those who have been sort of hungry to participate, and those who are excellent in all the tiers of our city.
Absolutely. I think CAHO has done a terrific job in terms of trying to get the ecosystem together on a platform to discuss all these issues. Dr. Singh, thank you so much for talking to us at BW Healthcare World.
Perfect. Always a pleasure to talk to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.